Hey everybody, welcome to the Lakers Nation news feed. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. You know what? Just when we thought that it was safe to finally exhale and that the NBA offseason was finally coming to an end, that all the moves and transactions were behind us, boom, the Lakers hit us with another one. We're going to be talking all about the addition of Andrew Bogut and a potential injury to Brook Lopez. Oh no, we're starting with that already. Before we get into it though, today's show is brought to you by MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/LakersNation for 20% off your first order of the most comfortable pair of underwear you will ever own. I am wearing some right now. They are incredibly comfortable. I will not show them to you because this is a family show, but trust me, MeUndies.com/LakersNation, 20% off some phenomenally comfortable underwear. And in fact, you can get all kinds of cool patterns and colors and things like that. If you want to be a little bit adventurous, you can mix it up a bit there. So news broke tonight that the Lakers have signed Andrew Bogut. This was per Shams Charania of The Vertical. They signed him to a one-year veteran minimum deal that's only partially guaranteed. And when this first broke, it raised a lot of eyebrows. There's no debating that. A lot of people were confused about why the Lakers would go and sign a veteran big man, a guy in Andrew Bogut, who, while he is a decent rim protector, or at least he has been over the course of his career, why would they sign him to a deal when he is going to be 33 in November? He's coming off of a broken leg. He broke his leg in his debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers last season back in March. So the question marks are flying around. Why would they sign a guy like this who was just coming off of a major injury and is already getting up there in years? And the center position isn't really what it used to be in the NBA. You don't need these big, plodding, slow centers who can't really hedge out on pick and rolls. They're not as valuable as the guys who are more fleet of foot. So why sign Bogut? Well, the more I looked at this deal and the more I talked to a few different people, the more I come to understand why they would do this, and I can see some serious upside to it. So let's get into it. Why would the Lakers sign him? Well, first and foremost, Bill Oram of the Orange County Register reported this evening that Brook Lopez has been having some back issues. Now, Brook Lopez is the center that the Lakers traded for. They traded D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Brook Lopez and Kyle Kuzma, or the draft pick that became Kyle Kuzma. Solid deal. We saw what Kyle Kuzma did during the Summer League. So the Lakers freed up some cap space with that move, but also adding Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez, he's a damn good center. This is a guy who is extremely skilled offensively. He is not very quick, but last season he adapted his game to the modern NBA by stepping out to the three-point line. Was able to hit as many threes as any other big in the league, any other center in the league, and actually shot them at a 35% clip. That kind of spacing is something that the Lakers could badly need. A guy like Julius Randle should thrive with that kind of spacing. Same with Lonzo Ball. Well, Oram is reporting that Brook Lopez has been dealing with back issues. Brook Lopez is 7 feet tall and 275 pounds. Dealing with back issues at that size is not a good sign. Oram is reporting that they could potentially see Brook Lopez sit out part of the preseason. Not a big deal. Preseason games don't count for anything, but should this back injury linger into the season, well, Andrew Bogut is an insurance policy for him. So for that reason alone, the signing of Andrew Bogut makes a whole lot of sense. Now, in addition to that, most people would think that Ivica Zubac would be the guy to really inherit a lot of the minutes if Brook Lopez is unable to go. And in fact, Ivica Zubac would be the backup center off the bench. Zubac is similar to Lopez and Bogut, more of a traditional center type. He's not the super mobile center that we're starting to see nowadays with guys like Draymond Green. But still, the thought was that Ivica Zubac would be the guy to inherit most of those minutes. Well, Zubac didn't have a great summer league. That's for one thing. He struggled a bit in the summer in Las Vegas when people expected him to really thrive. And if you're going to bring in another center as an insurance policy, a guy that is there in case there is an injury, you want someone who can act as a mentor on this team. The Lakers have an extremely young team. Ivica Zubac is part of that. They also have young guys like Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle is still a younger guy. They've got all these young players on this team, and it's important that you have veteran mentors that can help carry the message from the coaching staff to the players. So when Luke Walton is giving instructions for how he wants the post players to operate, having a guy like Andrew Bogut, who worked with Luke Walton in Golden State, actually won a championship with Walton with the Golden State Warriors in 2015, having a guy like that on the floor who can directly relay the message from the coaching staff to the players, in this case Ivica Zubac should be a big benefit of this, would definitely be a plus for the Lakers. On top of that, Zubac had developed a reputation as a shot blocker. He loves chasing after blocks in the paint. So does Andrew Bogut, but Andrew Bogut has learned over the course of his long career when to go for the block and when not to. Zubac had a habit of picking up silly fouls by chasing after blocks that he frankly just couldn't get. And Bogut should be able to help him settle down a little bit and figure out his timing. And that's going to be really important to the development of Ivica Zubac. So even though we look at this and on the surface we may see Andrew Bogut as the type of veteran who's going to come in and maybe steal minutes away, precious minutes away from a young center who's up and coming, who could need as much experience on the floor as he can get, he could actually benefit Zubac just by giving him that veteran to play against, and particularly because, at least defensively, Zubac projects to be kind of similar to Bogut in as far as how he plays, and that he's not going to be the quickest guy stepping out on pick and rolls. He's not going to switch and cover a point guard for a possession or anything like that. That would be disaster. But he finds ways to get around it and still act as a rim protector in the paint. So in that way, Andrew Bogut could be a very solid veteran mentor for Ivica Zubac. Beyond that, Bogut provides rim protection for the Lakers that they will certainly need. Even though they added Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, their defense is still going to be lacking. They have so many young players. They're going to make mistakes. You're going to need someone back there at the rim that can help clean those things up. Yes, Bogut is a major question mark in terms of health. He's a major question mark in terms of just what he has left. I mean, his PER last season was just over 9. Yeah, 9. That's really bad. If you are in the single digits in PER, that is not a good thing. That's player efficiency rating. But nonetheless, Bogut still has a reputation for a solid rim protector. So who knows? Even if Brook Lopez does stick around and is okay and ends up playing most of the games for the Lakers this season, having a guy like Bogut to back him up may not be a bad thing. I mean, if he plays 5 to 10 minutes a game and can help break things up at the rim, well, I mean, that's icing on the cake. On a veteran minimum deal, you will absolutely take that. And if he can mentor Ivica Zubac and some of the other young players along the way, all the better. I mean, the Lakers are a team that does believe in veteran mentors. Just look at Metta World Peace. He had a job with the Lakers for the past 2 seasons because he did such a phenomenal job at mentoring the younger players, particularly Julius Randle. So this is another step in that vein where the Lakers are going to be turning to Bogut for some veteran mentorship on the floor. Lastly, the consequence of this move. Well, the biggest thing is that if Bogut does stick with the team, and again, he's partially guaranteed. It's possible he just doesn't play well and the Lakers just get rid of him before the season even starts. If they don't pick up his option, he could just be gone. And that'll be similar to what we saw last season with E.G. Onleon. That could very well happen here. But should Bogut stick, which he's got the connection with Luke Walton from Golden State, so I'd say there's a decent chance that he does stick with the team, that would mean that he would eat up the team's 15th roster spot. 15th man on the roster, normally not a big deal, but in this case, it would mean that one of Vanderblue, VJ Beacham, Steven Zimmerman, or Briante Weber, all who have their own merits, would no longer have a shot at making the team because Andrew Bogut would eat up that last roster spot. That would mean that those 4 guys, particularly Vanderblue, who performed really, really well in Summer League and was pretty impressive. He's also the MVP of the D League, which is now the G League. So this is a guy that has some talent and maybe something for the Lakers. They would instead be competing just for a 2-way contract. The Lakers do still have 1 of those left after they used their first one on Alex Caruso. Every team gets 2 per season to use for a player that can bounce between the G League and the NBA. So he could bounce back and forth between the G League and the Lakers. Then, of course, the Lakers' new G League team, or old G League team, which used to be called the Defenders, is now the South Bay Lakers. So Vanderblue could potentially bounce back and forth there. Anyway, that's about it. That's everything that we need to break down for this Andrew Bogut signing. Again, right now, we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed, hope that Brook Lopez is okay. On the surface, the Andrew Bogut signing looked pretty confusing, but in light of the Brook Lopez injury news, which is obviously unfortunate, and everything else that we're factoring in, including the veteran mentorship side of this, it does make a lot of sense that the Lakers went out and got Bogut, even if he isn't a perfect fit for the playing style that they are going for. He's not a guy that's going to run and gun with Lonzo Ball or anything like that, but still not a bad option as a stopgap in the event of a Lopez injury. That's going to wrap things up for today. Once again, my name is Trevor Lane. You can find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Head over to LakersNation.com for all of the latest on the Brook Lopez injury, the Andrew Bogut signing, and everything else happening in the world of the Los Angeles Lakers. Until next time, see ya.